Yes, so hello friends and welcome to another tutorial. Yeah, so today we will be going through Civil 3D again because you have requested that we look at it more keenly without going so very fast. So your requests have been heard and acted upon. And that's why we are saying that indeed we appreciate your support to this farm. So, that being said, and everything being in order, I will be starting off in the hope that you are following along and that whatever I'm going to do here is to share basic and advanced tips that will help you to design your roads more easily and you will have improved your workflow. That being said, I will start with this quote. As usual, we'll be starting with a quote. And whatever I will leave is my thought and my opinion. But put yourself first. If you want to chase your happiness, your success, and your dream, your life has to be about you. You cannot live your life trying to please others and think somehow in that process you will achieve all your goals as well. Be yourself, the world will adjust. So, with that, friends, we will begin. Yeah, so the first thing that I will do, I'll be taking you through the interface of Civil 3D because you requested that we need to look at it more keenly so that everyone can get started to using Civil 3D. And who am I? I'm here to do that. So the first thing that you will notice is that you will be using your home tab at most of the time, and that being said, let's look at the home tab. So here you get tools, and if you cross these tools, they are here is the tool space. And that being said, also you get prospector here, you get survey here, you get tool palette and open or close palette window where you can access sub-assemblies for design and other tools, and then you get properties. So on the tool palette we get to use it most of the time. Yeah, so on the project explore, it's here, grading optimization, points, surface, transverse. You get those things here under your home tab. Parcels, feature line, also grading, alignment. We'll be creating alignment profiles, corridors. Here you get to intersections, assembly, pipe networks. Also you get to profile view, sample lines, section views, and when you want to generate section views, you'll be generating them from this point. And then here you get your tools, rectangles, circles, and ellipses, and other stuff. You get your move tool, rotation tool, cut tool, or trim tool. Here you get to copy, mirror, fillet. That is to ensure that round and fillet at the edges of object. Explode. That is to break compound object into compound break a component object into its component object. Also get to have stretch here and scale here, rectangular array, and also offset. So we get to layers here, and we get to insert now. In the insert, the most of our time will be spending it in home tab. So ensure you are very familiar with the home tab, the one that we have just looked at. So run desktop, run XML, and all these features, and here you get to set location. And I think with that, the rest you can go through them at your own time, and you can look at all of them. So I think that I want us to look at is creation tools here, the rails and the other stuff, so you can get to design many things. Here you can design several things using Civil 3D. So it's a very good software for you to get started with. Yeah, so that being said, I want us to get into a real project, because sometimes me taking you through all this, it might not be so interesting. It might not be so interesting. Yes, so whatever we are going to do now is starting with Civil 3D in a real world project. So we're going to start a project, and we'll create this project from the start to the end, and ensuring that you get to have first-hand experience on the way to go about several designs. So that being said, let's get started. So the first thing that you need to do here is to ensure that you have your points imported. And how do you get these points? These points will be given by a surveyor who have gone to the site and corrected those data. So he will give you those data. Maybe they might be in Excel form, they might be in other forms. But the thing is, Civil 3D will only accept the points that are in Excel form. So when you have a project and maybe perhaps you have not specified what kind of data the surveyor should give you, it's so important for you to ensure that you get the right data and in the right arrangement and format. So that being said, let's get started. So I'm going to import my points, and the first thing that I need to do is to go to points, click point creation tool. So there I have it, and this will pop up. When this pop up, when it pop ups, I need to click the import points. So I will click there, and then I will have this tool here. I click the plus button, and then I will choose my points. I will choose the topo survey points. These points are in CSV format, then I can open them. So when I open them, I will just change the point file format to P, to point number, nodings, elevation or listings, point elevation, and row description. Then I click OK. So there are so many ways. After importing your points, you might not be able to see them. So you need to click the zoom extend tool, and then click there, and you'll be able to see your points. So for people who are following through this, I've been sharing this. But a video in your email, so you can drop your email there, and that begins to share these letters with you. So you can and practice will make sure that you are in touch with everything. So that being said, the next thing that I need to do, if there are so many ways of importing points, that is one way. I'm going to show you the next way that you can do this. So let me go back. So the next thing that the other way that you can import points is you can come to points, you right click, and then you say create, and then you click here import points, and then you get to choose your points again. So depending on which one you prefer, you can import them like that. Yeah, so that is one way that you can use to import your points. And I'll be checking out the question whether you have a query. You can just type them in the chat box, and then I'll be able to see them, and I will respond to them immediately. So that being said, let's continue. So after importing your points, remember to click the zoom extent. So let's click the import here. You get to select your points, top or survey points, and then you click open. When there, you change the format to PNEZD command limited, and you click OK. And then a duplicate of the number, so we have it on this one, and then you click the zoom extend tool, your forms. That is done, and then I check it that we are done with the point importing points. So the next thing that I need to do is to create the surface. So how do we create a surface? The surface will help you to see the terrain of that area so that you can get to see how the surface is aligned, because you're going to be able to create profile without a surface and so many other things. So we need to create a surface. So the first thing that I will do is to go to surface, create surface, and then I come to this. I can rename them whatever, however I want. I can call them load surface. Let's call them what? Some right here in load, something like that, and then next time perhaps this time we'll try something different, and then can click OK, then you click OK. So after creating your surface, you need to come to this on the left side, you click the plus button, and then you will see this, and then you go to point groups here, you right click, you add, and then you add all points, you apply, add all points, apply, and then you click OK. And then you'll have this surface created for you. So the reason that I don't want to create a complicated surface is because it might limit me when it comes to me creating my alignment. So that's the way you create a surface, and let me check if there is any query that I can get to respond to. No query, let's proceed. So the next thing that I need to do is to create my alignment. So alignment, I'm going to create this center alignment. So that means I'm creating the center line of a road. And you know, the center line is so important because if you create a wrong center line, the edges of the road is going to run over buildings, over structures, and that would make the project to be so expensive and perhaps not executable. So you need to ensure if it is an existing road, you have the center line following the existing center line. But if it is not an existing road, it's a new road, then you have to ensure also that the proposed center line, you are following the center line. So that being said, let's get started. So we need to create now alignment. You go to alignment creation tool, and then this one I call it alignment Kenyan load, like that. I can describe it as center line again, center line, like that, and then I click on the site, it's none. I can just choose it none. Alignment style, I will say it is proposed, and then on the labels I can just click labels, then I click OK, and then I will come here to tangent with curves and click there, then close this one. But then I have all these points that I may not know what they are and what they do. So I need to come to points, then I go back to point groups, right click, click properties, click all, OK, then click there, new, and here I will include with matching description of CL, and on the information here I will choose none, and then click apply and see whether it has acted on my commands. Not acted still, so we go back to point group, right click properties. I have points, 2 points, so this one. So if I have 2 points here, I have this one. I need to delete some. This update properties. Let me check. I'm going to basic to none. OK. So I will have those ones. I go back to properties, click include. So description only, include. That's the OK. Let's go back. Description. Let's click none. No need those ones. Go back to our points. Click there. Properties. So we have points. We have description only. Elevation, point and description. I will apply. I want to see how they are like, and then include with matching CL. So I need to see those points, so I'm going back to here and change elevation point, and then elevation boundary, and see whether I'm going to get there is no. So I'm going to point elevation description apply. I don't have the point, so I'm going to change the style here. So I need to ensure that whatever I'm going to be seeing is something like this. Then I will apply. apply, then click OK, then click apply. So I change this so that I can only have point and description apply. But if I have point only, let me see what I'm going to be having. This is point number, point elevation, description, apply. Let me click basic there. Exactly. So I have the basic one. So whatever I'm going to do here is to write description only, then apply. I click OK. So whatever I'm doing here is to ensure that I have my center line, like I can be able to extract this center line from the other points and get to draw a perfect alignment. Because if I don't do it that way, I'm going to be guessing where the center line is, and that is not what engineers you need to do, because you're going to have a road that is running over buildings, that is offsetting from the exact location that it was proposed to be in, and that will be very dangerous. So that being said, let's continue. So I have my points here, and you can see them, they are written CL to mean that they are the center line, and whatever now I need to do is to draw my proposed alignment. So I go back home, I click alignment creation tool, and then I go here, I had created that, I click OK, and then this alignment tool will pop up. I will click here, tangent with curves. So I click here, ensure that I will be going through these points perfect and nicely, so that my road will not be running over buildings like that. Yeah, so I hope that you have been able to be to exclude the other points from the other points, in that whatever now you're doing is to create an alignment. So if you have not been able, I'll be taking you through once again so that you can know how we do this. So whatever I'm doing now is to create a alignment. I'm going just to ensure that where it is flat, I'm taking almost all the points like that, like that. Mhm. If you do this, you will be able to ensure that you don't have so much errors in your road, because you'll be so confident as you present your drawing to um, the firm. So that even when you'll be creating your corridors, um, the corridors will be so nice, because you did a good, good alignment there, like that. So I know it's a very slow process, and you have to keep, you have to be patient with it so that we can get the desired results. So, so continue doing like that. the slow process, so you need to be very patient on it. Yeah, sorry for the mess. You keep following through. Yeah, so that is how you isolate the points from the other points, and if you have not been able to reach that point, I'll be taking us through again so that you can ensure that we are at the same page. Yeah, so then I will click escape if I'm done with my alignment like that. And then now here, whatever I'm having is my alignment. And you'll get to see even the chainage. The chainage that I'm using here is 4 kilometers. Yeah, so depending on your setting, you can change the setting of your chainage to be according to how you want it to be. I think that it's okay. It's a very long road that we are designing, so if you do it in meters, you're going to have a lot of data here that will not be necessary. Yeah, so the next thing that I'm going to do is to create my profile. Um, Let me take you back again to the how to do the alignment. So you need to go to alignment creation tool, and then you change your settings here. If it is an existing center line, you need to select it to be existing one. But if it is proposed, you need to indicate that it is proposed center line. If it is of any other kind, you will just need to indicate so that. My starting station is set at 0 because when you are, this is depending on my chainage that I am using. So on the design criteria, I am designing a road for 100 kilometers per hour. So if you are designing for a different design speed, then you need to specify so that when you come to alignment and then you choose your curve with curves, it will specify those curves to be aligning with that it is 120. But if it is like mine here 100 kilometers per hour, then I don't have to modify my design, my curves, because already it is specified that I'm designing for 100 kilometers per hour. Yeah, so if you're designing for a low speed, then you'd also you can also choose curves with no curves and you modify, but that will give you a lot of work. And since I have specified mine, it is according to ASHTO 2011, so will be much of the work have been done by the software, so I don't need to do those other stuff. So after doing that, creating your alignment, the other thing that I needed you to know is how I did isolate my points. So how you isolate your points, you go to point groups, then you right click, you go to properties, and then sorry, let me go back to all points. You go to properties, and here you will go to point including. So you will only include the points that you need. If I need to exclude the other points, I can specify. But since here I want only the points that are the center line, I will just include the point with matching CL. So with row description matching center line, and then I will have the center line points only. So if there is any question, then I will answer them. Yeah, but since I have no any typed question, then we continue. The next thing that I will do is to create a profile, and profile will help me to know how the road will look like when I'm viewing it from the vertical view now. If I'm viewing it vertically, I'll be able to see whether that road is it's so steep or it is very flat. So I'll be able to see all that information. But then, if it is not so like the way we want it, then you can modify it and have a good design. So I will show you how been seeing it in road construction, that whenever construction is continuing, you see them coming in, doing some grounding, some leveling, and that is usually information that they usually get from the designer, because that cut, that is the material that have been cut from that point, need to be hauled into another place, and that is to say that material, if it is of specific and meet the standards, then it will need to be used somewhere else. So if the material is not to be dumped somewhere else, then it is to be used to flatten that ground, and that is actually some of the calculation that you get to do even with the software. Even the manner is such your cuts and fills, and then you get to know like I will need this number of trucks in this so that this part can be filled up. That being said, let's continue. So if you include the point with matching CL, the only point that we have is the center, and you'll be able to isolate them. Yeah, that being said, I choose my center line like that. And then the next thing that I will do is go to home tab, and then I choose profile, create profile. So creating a profile from surface, and then I have specified that it is in Kenyan road alignment. I will click here. I will like that, and then draw, and then here you need to click next, 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 and then create profile view. That done, I'm going to press my profile here like that, and then you get to see like the surface of my road. It is not so good. Like in this point it is so steep or it is so hilly depending on the which direction you're driving from. So these alignment Kenyan load profile, and we need to at least change this. So I take us back again so that you can know how we did it. I will check if there is any question. Now this alignment once again. So what do you need to do? I need to select this my alignment, and that is the proposed. What if I hover over it? You will see it is alignment Kenya load 1 proposed C load, and you will see it is 934.33 meters. That is, and that is 0.22 meters from this side. That is that. So after doing that, you need to go to profile, and then you create profile, and then you click next, and then you have your profile like that. So you need to go back to profile creation tools. I will create this profile, and then here I will need to maybe write here something like post profile. Click OK, and then here I will select a tangent with curves, so that I can be able to correct this mistake that is here, like that. I don't need my road to be so bumpy like this, so I need to ensure that I cut it a bit, and like that. I click escape, and then I will have my vertical profile created there very well and very nicely. So so that's how I create a profile, and this now how my road will look like that way. So it's not so bumpy, it's not so bad. So after that I click outside. Since I'm done with that, the next thing that we need to do is to create an assembly. Excuse me. The next thing that we need to do is to create an assembly. So in this class, we are going to customize our assembly. But if for your training first, you can just choose the ready ones. But for this class, I'm going to be designing or customizing our assemblies. So that being said, let's go to assemblies, create assembly, road assembly. Sound like a parliament thing, but it's a road. So description, I call it assembly and then on codes, these four codes, and then assembly there. Okay, and then I click OK. Then I just click here, and then I have this point where I will be able to create my assembly. I will create this palette here, and then now I can get to customize my road. So I'm just going to start with this one. I'll be putting, first let me check whether I can have since our road doesn't have, there is no need of roundabout, don't have intersection, so it won't be creating roundabouts here. I'm going to put a barrier. The next thing that I need to do is to go to basically choose I need to choose my rain. I will choose rain separation, and I put it here. So assembly like that. Go back here. Then now I need to change the side. Now I want to insert it at the left side. I go back here and click left sub assembly. Go back, Control Z. So go back to assembly. That is, I think we had this one. Now inserting it on the left side. So I need to change this to left. Click here, sub assembly. No, which is left. So no, there is wrong with it. Click and enter. Then I choose these ones. I will delete them. So I delete this one. Delete. Let's try to select all of them. So let's go back to back again, and I need to delete all this because they are not behaving as they should. So I need to go back to creating assemblies because it misbehaved. So I'm going back to assembly, create assembly, adding this time. Since it's named, I'm just going to press it there again. I should choose barrier, press a barrier here, assembly like that. Then I'm going to choose this pavement here. It is on the right side, so I'm okay with that. I'm going to change here to left. I'm going to I'm going to choose a basic shoulder like that. I'm going to press it on my left side first. Here, I'm going to press sub assembly. Here, sub assembly. Let's try. Don't know whether I can have them in a flat area. Let me trim them again. Trim that, trim that. So I'm going back to basic shoulder. It is on the right side, so I'm going to start here on this corner, like that, sub assembly, like that, go to the left side, then I'm going to click here. So you can change the settings if you want. If you feel like you need to change them, the size you can just change them depending on what you want. So after that, I'm going to insert. Assume I'm done with that, so I'm going to create a tray, a curve here. Go back to basic curve. Going to press it on the left side first. So it's going to be sub assembly here, and go to the right side like that, and then I'll be creating it here like that. So I have my assembly there done. I'm satisfied with that. So the next thing that I need to do is to create a drainage, if I may. Uh, so let me look for it. So I'm just going to choose this one. I'm going to press it here. Then I'm going to click sub assembly like that. Then click Control Z. So I'm going to trim this one small. I'm going to come. After that, I think I can just put a urban sidewalk. Yeah, sidewalk. So I'm just going to put it here, but that's not okay. Going to trim it. I'm going to go back to urban sidewalk. I'm going to choose this here, sub assembly there, like that. Going to change it to right. think should be okay with that layout. Yeah, I don't think there is so much things that I need to do. And trace a ditch to a sidewalk here to be a sub-assembly, and then on the other side also to be a sub-assembly like that. So like that, I think we should be good with that. With that, I think I'm done with so I'm done with creating my assembly. So I'm going to exit all this since I am done with that. So my assembly is done. So we have our assembly alignment and our profile. So the next thing that I need to do is to create my corridors. So I'm going to create a corridor here. Yeah, so click corridors, and then you can name it whatever you want. I'm going to name Kenya corridors. Description I add Kenyan corridors again. And then on the base, the style I'm going to use basic type times alignment and profile here. Alignment, and then I'm going to choose assembly here. Then I click OK. So I'm just going to choose my alignment again, my center line like that, and then go to home, corridors, create corridors. Then I click OK. Okay, let me go back to corridors. Corridors, and then assembly here. Choose I think with that we are okay. We're going to rebuild corridors. So we wait for it to rebuild our corridors as it wants. And then you're going to drive through to see how the road is going to be. Then I'm going to say okay. This then I'm going to click here okay. So if you look at our road here, I'm going to go to points again and then cross them so that you can see whatever we have. So I'm going to all points, properties. Yeah, I'm just going to include none, include none. So we're going to have none here. Description none. Then I click apply and click OK. So I wait for it to move all the points here. So the only points that are remaining are for the so these are corridors. We have been able to create perfect corridors like these ones. So this is how our road will be like. So you can see that it is not offset from the exact points. So the next thing that I need to do is to do some I will drive through. Let's see. I want to edit those corridors. I think for me they are okay. So the next thing that I need to do is to go to view like this. So I'm going to corridors again. So the next thing that I need to do is to go to my I'll change here to it. That I need to go to home. So go to view. I need to drive through. So I'm looking for drive and to check my utilities first. Then so you can get to look at these things, but I'm going to try and select my corridors. Then I'm going to So select your corridors and then I'm going to click drive. Then I'm going to drive through. So select it again, corridors. So I want to drive through. I'm just going to cross this one. Corridors. So we have been able to create corridors. I don't know why it's refusing to drive through. Let's try again. And with that, we come to the end that I'm seeing in the chat box. And therefore, I assume that there is no question. So with that, I want to thank all of you for being part of this. And let's continue to ensure that this community grow and continue to share this with your friends, with your family, and with engineers that are may want them to design. So we're going to drive through. Just going to press play here. So you can see the barrier. You can see our. I don't know what's happening. Let's check. Let's wait for it. So as well. So let's try through it again. Yes, so let's be patient with it. So we're going to try through it again. Try corridors, corridors again. Okay. So let's see as it will try through. I'm just going to click play. Wait for it to take us through whatever we have been doing and see how the driver experience will be. So this is what it's going to be the driver experience as he will be driving through the road. But ensure you have a good ramp so that you can have a smooth, smooth riding. So you can see mine is dragging. But nevertheless, we have managed to come to that far. Yes, so since there is no question, I think after driving through, since we have no errors, you can see that this is what it's going to be like driving through this road. I don't think that it is a dangerous road. It's a very perfect. Remember that engineers solve problems. That's what you are doing. Yeah. So this is how the driver is going to be seeing the road. You can see our barrier, and this is our that is our surface, our trench there. You can see it. So if you have a good drum, you might be lucky to see it so nicely. As, so after that, I just close it. And thank you for being part of this community. Let's continue. So the speed that I was driving through with, it's 40 kilometers per hour. I decided to drive through at a speed maybe 100 because it's went for 100. And then so with that, we come to the end of this tutorial. I want to take this opportunity to thank you for